All right.
Ready? TalkGA on 3.
The fuck?
1, 2, 3. TalkGA.
TalkGA.
Let's talk.
Yeah.
All right. This is the new intro outro. Okay. Hey everyone, welcome to TalkGA, our podcast on everything and anything Grand Archive. I'm your host, Mark from Solar Games, and joining me, as usual, are my co-hosts, Eva and Fome. All right. So first of all, how's everyone doing? And also, I want to know, did you buy anything fun for Black Friday since that just passed? Sean, you first. Fome, you first.
Yeah, I bought some sick Japanese pants for Black Friday, and I'm doing really good because of that.
What are Japanese?
The Sugoi
The
pants?
Sugoi pants.
Do you both know what this means? Does everybody who's watching this, would they know what this means?
No.
Okay.
No,
What is
but
a
my
Japanese
friend has
pants?
these really sick, they're called harem pants, but they're basically really baggy pants.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was like, where do you get that? He's like, oh, I got it from this Japanese
This is
company.
Lee, by the way.
It's Lee, the winner of Path of Silver. And
docs.
he said it's by a Japanese company called Jishinman. And they had a Black Friday sale, or Cyber Monday sale actually, which is store-wise 60% off everything. It was legit 60% off because I saw the normal prices before, and I was like, oh, I can't afford this, but a 60%, hell yeah, so I bought three of those pants.
Let's go. Sugoi.
Got it. Are we going to see this at the future Ascent?
I will be wearing them to
Nice.
events.
Wear them on the podcast.
I will wear them on the podcast.
Yeah, wear them on the podcast. Cool. Eva, any how are you doing? And Black Friday shopping?
I'm fine. Just been busy, as I'm sure we all have been.
Yeah.
I did not partake. I just nabbed some free audio mixing plugins because I'm boring.
Oh yeah. The best part of Black Friday, all the free VSTs.
Just free VSTs. And yourself, Mark?
Doing great. Lots of super busy stuff. Yeah, I think I bought a lot, but I bought so much stuff I don't really remember anything in particular.
Whoa.
Christmas shopping.
It's basically, yeah, so I do all my Christmas shopping in November. Actually, basically Christmas shopping starts November 3rd or 4th, right after Halloween until right about now. So I'm done as of now, I think. There might be some last minute gifts December, but usually I don't buy anything December. That's my strategy for years. All right, so let's get right into our topic. So some quick updates, info on things that are happening. So these are all the events that's happening. I'm just going to read them out for our audience here. First off, I guess the next Ascent is going to be Ascent Ontario, California, not Canada. Okay, it's going to happen on February 10th and 11th. That is a Saturday/Sunday, 2024. It will be Path of Steel only. There's no Path of Silver, so you're going there to compete. I'm pretty sure there will be side events. So if you're just going to hang out, artist booth, side events, these vendors, these are the things you should expect. I am debating what I do at Ascent Ontario since I'm probably not going to play Path of Steel.
Why not?
Did I tell everybody I quit? I quit, guys. It's over.
You can still play.
It's true. I can still play. But what I thought actually might be more interesting, we'll see how this works out. I do have a couple months, but I think I'm building some, maybe we'll do a deck tech type of build your deck with Solar Games type of thing. I'll just do a side thing where
That'd be fun.
Workshop?
We'll do a 101 on deck building, and then we'll talk about things. Because I was actually helping people at Ascent Houston just randomly. They were building a deck, and I was like, oh, if you're doing this, you should cut these cards. And they're like, why? And I'm like, oh, this would be a great video that I will never make. So maybe we'll do it live.
That'd be fun.
Okay. Anyways, tickets are on sale for Ascent Ontario, and yeah, hopefully you all already got your tickets because it's probably too late.
Did someone say
VIP?
How many VIPs? Oh my God. Okay. But a huge event that's going to happen soon is Ascent Worlds. This is insane. This is the culmination of everything we've been working on for the last year. Everybody who's been competing for store championships, regionals, Ascent, nationals, whatever. Basically, it's going to be the tournament for the world champion of Grand Archive for, I guess, year one. But it's going to happen May 11th to 12th, 2024. It's going to be in Las Vegas. So that's super exciting too. There's a lot of things to do in Las Vegas. So tickets will go on sale. December 2nd is the first wave, 2 p.m. Pacific time. So translate that for yourself. And then wave 2 will be December 3rd at 12 a.m. PST.
I think it's important to distinguish that there is the World Championship, which is for the people that won nationals. And then there's also Ascent Worlds, which is what the ticket sales are
Oh,
The two different things.
this is
Yeah.
not the same.
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay, well, I don't know what this event is. Eva, you're up.
It's Ascent World. So you
Yeah.
can get your tickets on wave 1 or wave 2
Okay.
at the times you just said.
Okay. So what's the difference? This is
Anyone can participate in Ascent World.
But the World Championship is happening at Ascent Worlds, yes? Okay.
Yeah.
We're not
same
doing another
time.
event.
So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the Mythic Championship
Yeah.
with a Grand Prix next
Nice.
to
Okay, cool. Yes, so there's gonna be Path of Steel, Path of Silver, and then of course there's the Ascent World Super VIP.
Super VIP.
Super VIP.
it. Even
tickets
more
available.
VIP than VIP.
I don't know. We're gonna next level it. But also, I'm actually really curious about the three versus three at Ascent World, the competition. So, you and 2 of your friends, or just maybe you probably can make a pod there, but you can play 3v3 competitive GA. It's our first kind of like multiplayer.
Yeah, but it's not like three-headed giant, is it?
No.
You play one-on-one.
Yeah, it's a team of 3, and then you basically acquire points for your team by victory. There are some stipulations for deck building, so you can't. It's not just like the 3 of us getting together. We actually have to build a deck for the 3 of us as a team. There are restrictions on what cards you can have, like how many copies. I think material deck is like okay to have repeats, but
I heard
No,
none.
no.
no. Is it just the spirit can be repeated once?
No, there are no repeats.
No, the spirits can't. So it's actually
You could
quite
play
confusing.
Spirit of Fire, and I could play like the
Spirit of
Serene Fire.
Yeah. No, I think it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Okay.
Yes.
Well, we'll double check it, but yeah, or you double check it because I don't know.
So they were saying that you have to play a minimum of 2 elements unless you're playing Norm. Then if that counts as an element.
I see. It has to be different spirits, but you can play the same element. I see what you're saying. Okay, cool. That's where I got confused. Right?
But the team has to have at least 2 elements.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2 of them can be the same element if one of them is a serene version of the element.
I think honestly, we just run it easy, like water, wind, fire. That's the most pure and coolest.
Prismatic team.
And people have to
Hell
play
yeah.
water. Oh.
Yeah.
No, guys.
Inflatable.
Have you guys seen Meta? Water's super
No, we're
hot
joking.
right now.
Water's awesome.
We
Water's
love
hot
water.
right now.
Team Water.
Okay. All right. Water's hot right now. And then lastly, it is. Ask Fome about how I beat him just now.
Come on, dude. I let you win.
He let me win. All right. So
We had to do the podcast.
lastly, there is store championships also happening. These are NorCal store championships. There's 6 of them in NorCal. I will put them in the link in the description for the actual, when and where they're happening, so you can be informed if you're in NorCal, obviously. So that's all the info for our quick hits for today. We're gonna jump right into main topics. And first main topic is going to be about NorCal Regionals, which just happened last weekend.
Yeah.
Last weekend? No, last weekend.
like almost- yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, about a week and a little bit ago. There you go.
Something like
Because
that.
technically last weekend's like 2 days ago, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, good job, y'all. We got through it.
Yeah, we got through it. So Eva, do you want to kick us off on what happened? Who were participating?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the regional was crazy. I think we were very ambitious with this regional, right?
Yeah.
Like we had so much going on. We streamed the entire thing.
Dude, it's crazy.
The whole 9-hour stream.
Months of prep.
Yeah, we had side events. We fired constructed and sealed side events, which is pretty good. We had a whole store. Savon had a literal minivan of products that we brought from Final Cut TCG, which is his store, which hosted the NorCal Regional. So we had a huge store. We had 2 fan artists that had prints and stickers and
One of ones. They were drawing one of ones when I walked by.
then they were taking requests for doodles that they were drawing on site.
Yeah, so Kana and Iroi.
Kana and Iroi.
Amazing artists.
So good.
Yep. I got some Kana stickers here.
Nice. Gosh, and we even had a little prize wall sort of thing, part of the store where you could only buy those items with points that you earned from the side events. And there was just so much that you could do, even if you weren't just participating in the main tournament. I think that was really cool.
I almost didn't want to do streaming so I can just play side events.
No, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was like the full, good old Grand Prix experience. Just like the good old days of Magic.
Yeah.
I do think that part of the reason we were so ambitious is because California already had a regional during the Dawn of Ashes season in Southern California in Anaheim. And then they gave us one in Northern California for some reason this season. So we were like, that's really generous.
Yeah.
We should make the most of it.
Yeah. And you and Cherry were our fabulous casters for the event,
So good.
going on for 9 hours of commentary. How was that?
I'm surprised I didn't lose my voice, honestly.
That's true.
I was worried
Neither
about
of you guys
that.
did.
Yeah. Well, actually, I guess I had like golf voice on for this cast because we were so afraid of like echoing, right?
Ah, yes. Excellent play right
Yeah.
there.
that-
Two players. Yeah. So I was like, honestly, I was talking softer than I'm talking right
That's
now.
true.
Because I don't talk like that. I'm very animated, very excited.
usually really
I had to
loud.
hold back because I didn't want to. And there were still moments like because apparently I watched all 9 hours of VOD afterwards too.
I kind of did too.
Yeah. Well,
I already watched it while you were doing it.
Yeah. Well, but I watched it because for my application. But yeah, so I didn't lose my voice, which was really crazy, but I did have the tea and the honey tech going, so that was good. Definitely helped a lot. And then just in general, like it was really fun because I originally when Savon approached me at Ascent Houston, he asked me to be color commentator, actually, right? And back then I didn't know if I was going to be a caster at all. But then of course because for a long time we didn't have a second caster, I was like, crap, I got to be the tech commentator, right? I have to be like, hey, so I started studying deck lists like for weeks. I would get on like these, if I see two people playing on the main chord in like, TTS or even like on webcam, I'll just jump in.
Really?
Yeah, and they'll be like, hey, Mark from Solar Games, like, hey, what's up, guys?
Dedication.
Hey,
God.
like they're like hiding their tech. They're like, oh, don't worry about it. And I have to explain the whole like I quit competitive. I'm really not gonna compete. But now like you guys are telling me to play steel. I'm gonna be a liar now.
By the way, this is the reason why Mark quit competitive Grand Archive so that he could pursue the dream of
my dream of being a caster,
professional Grand Archive caster.
Yeah. So like it was cool because because I became tech for the event, I had to like learn decks, and then it was really interesting because it was like a lot of pressure to play two decks essentially on cast because I had to try to explain like the player's thoughts given the cards I could see because it wasn't even a perfect hand because I would be like, oh, I think that's one Flame Rune Swordsman, so I think his play is like this. Oh wait, there's actually rending. That's way better play. Just play the rending instead, right? Like you see things later.
You did an awesome job.
Yeah,
I was like, I thought it was so insightful as I was watching the. Basically, I was controlling OBS so I could see what the players were doing, and I couldn't really understand sometimes. But when you explained it, I'm like, oh, I got it now. And your chemistry with Cherry was amazing. Cherry did such an awesome job too.
I think you were both very impressive.
She had deck tech. She was crazy good.
Right?
Cherry was
She was good. She was like, all right,
so
look,
on point.
this is like 14 damage. I'm like, Cherry already did math. Like, I didn't even do the math yet. That's crazy. Yeah, she was good. She was really good. Deck tech plus like half the time she had like really good jokes too. It's just like I think it's more natural for
the
her.
natural memes that came out of it. Hungry Merlin. Just
Hungry Merlin, Baby Deer. I forgot what else we got.
Deer,
Yeah.
Mama Deer.
Yeah, Teenage Deer, Baby
Teenage
Deer,
Deer. We had
Mama
to-
Deer.
We had to downgrade Frost Paladin from
You
Baby
did
Deer,
downgrade.
or upgrader. I forgot. Yeah. The other part I thought was really interesting after watching all 9 hours was towards the end. I realized in the beginning I was actually really nervous, and I'm so thankful that we decided to cast a game that was like a little bit more easy, I guess. It was the Ver game, right? It was a Fire Merlin and against the Fire Lorraine, I think it was. Super easy. Like I knew all the cards, didn't need to like think a lot for that game. But I realized I got a lot better as we started casting because there was like games where like Wei was on and there was like a super brainy Rydak, and I'd be like, okay, how many cards? Do we banish the Voltaic Sphere now? Do we like,
I remember that match clearly.
Yeah, and just getting better and better as I felt way more energetic towards the end when we finished with the Ver game, and I was like, all right, he's gonna do this. I mean, there was a lot of points where I was like, oh, this is cool tech. This is really good, interesting. So it was cool. Like it was really interesting, and that's this was my first experience really casting anything basically. So I thought I had a really fun time, and that's really honestly half of it. If I'm having fun, usually it makes this with the audience
We had
having
fun listening to you.
Yeah.
And Cherry, like it seemed like you and her had been doing this for like a while already.
Yeah.
Like there was just this like camaraderie that came off.
It was kind of funny, I guess. Another thing to improve next time for myself is I need to put like not mute Cherry. I couldn't hear her because I had the headphones on. So she would say things, and then I like watching the VOD, I realized I was just like bodozing over her. She's like,
no.
oh, he drew a card. Oh, he drew a card. I'm like,
Why
Rude.
didn't you just have her on the call? Or?
in the beginning, I didn't want to have the echo because I could hear her and hear the audio. But I think as the room filled, it was just like a general rumble that muted, like it's like a almost noise cancellation, right? So I really then couldn't hear her. I mean, it's not 100% by the way.
Yeah.
It's like
And
maybe
my
some
apologies. There were some tech issues that we were trying to work through at that time.
No, you guys did a fantastic job. All the cuts. Thank you for being in my ear about like, hey, so Fome is like, oh, hey, you guys got 2 minutes and we're gonna cut transitions this. Oh, we're gonna give you data in 20 seconds. I'm like, oh, this is so good. Or 5 seconds, we're back on the stream.
Oh, trying to make it like a legit production.
So professional. I've never
Yep.
never done this before. I'm like, this is what like pros do, right? They say, hey, 5 minutes, you're live. Like so then I could like freshen up.
Yeah. It was like being like, all right, Mark, cutting back to players in 3, 2, 1.
It's so good.
live.
It's so good. It's so professional. All right, so Fome, tell us more about all the tech stuff.
The stream, I mean, that was like the culmination of like multiple months of effort. You know, having to figure out how to put all of that together. Actually, we owe a lot to Shinja from TM32 because at Ascent Houston, he actually was telling me all of the different kinds of equipment that you would need.
Yeah.
You know, how to mount the camera, how to, you know, have 3 4K cameras running into your computer, which is why we had to bring a full desktop. You couldn't do it off a laptop because you actually needed the ports on the motherboard to be able to do that. So yeah, we got that. We tested everything like lots of times before we actually got to the venue.
Yeah.
Really worried about the network situation, but it turned out their like Wi-Fi was super duper fast.
Yeah.
So we didn't have any of that issue. Yeah, we had the whole shebang. We had a 3 camera setup. So it was the card camera, the player camera, and the caster camera. Yeah. We had multiple scenes, you know, with like a welcome screen that Eva like spent a lot of time beautifully making with all the motion graphics.
I love the transition.
Yeah, we have like all the animated wipes and everything.
Yeah.
We had
waves, the flag.
original music, but by Cloud Road Music, and TR made the logo. Yeah. Made it all look super legitimate. And yeah, we had like a welcome screen, stats screen, casters scene, the actual like gameplay scene.
Yeah.
You made the overlays for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Graphic designer.
I try to make it look like, you know, like, because we love, you know, the days where you can always watch a Magic stream.
Yeah.
Like every weekend you can watch a Magic stream and they would be very professional looking of graphics and commentating on that. So we did our best to try to recreate that.
Yeah.
There were some hiccups, but
Yeah. And then like I saw the life totals. That was really good too.
Oh yeah.
oh,
Not having to
That's
literally
so
update it. Like
that-
there's so much
yeah,
frustration.
That was the tech because
Yeah.
we found an app that basically each player on a computer could update their life totals,
Yeah.
and then that would go to another website from which we can grab the numbers and just overlay them.
Yeah.
So a person doesn't have to manually input the life totals.
It's insanely cool.
So yeah, it made it a lot easier for me because I'm doing a lot of other switching there. But yeah, I think we were ambitious, like Eva said, and it wasn't perfect. But I'm really glad we put all that effort into it at the end. Really hope that the people watched it enjoyed.
Yeah. For sure.
And the VOD is on YouTube if you haven't seen it and want to check it out.
It's all 9 hours of it.
All
9
9 hours.
It's
plus
on the
hours.
Final Cut TCG channel.
Yeah. I'll put a link in the description if yeah. Honestly, right, the only thing that's missing between this and like a real GP is like the hand cam, but like with the cards.
Oh, that is like
It's
impossible.
insanely hard.
You know, it's literally like some intern looking at their hand and like plugging it in.
Typing it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like because
What?
there's no way you could do that automated. Like someone is literally looking at there's
Can't
probably
use TCG Player scanner app and just
like with
OCR
cards that
it?
are like moving around like as like players are like flipping their cards. Like it's
so
like
some interns looking at like a hand
no,
cam.
I
and
think
typing
so.
it?
They have a camera pointing at their
The hand,
hands,
okay.
but then that's not shown on the stream. It's sent to another person who's then manually putting those cards in.
Oh wow, crazy.
So like at some point I was like, should we do that?
Oh
no.
my
We're
god.
like, no, it was okay without it. You were able to figure it out for the most part.
Most of it, yeah. I mean, hey, look, Grand Archive, right? Like half the cards you can use as resource. So It works out okay.
Yeah.
It's the key cards, right? That you need to cast.
It's only 2 sets anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. There was, I mean, but did you know first edition Flame Rune looks awfully like a rending
Yeah. So
on stream, right? With like half a card showing.
yeah. So sometimes like they're like their like hand is kind of shown on the screen, and you're like,
Ver has rending. He's gonna win the game.
He's got
it's a
lethal.
Flame Rune.
It's a Flame Rune sword.
No.
It's just red, flamey stuff.
Fire. Yeah. It also kind of looks like Flame Suit too. To make it worse, yeah. Umbrella tech.
yeah.
Glare.
Yeah.
That saved the stream.
Yeah. Well, before the
Yay.
umbrella tech, it was even harder for you to read the cards. Yeah.
Just from the glare from the house
Yeah.
lights on the ceiling.
Good thing we tested it, right? Like right before the stream, you guys put some cards down, and I was like, I can't read half them. So I said, why don't you put the player I need to read on this side? And they were like, no. Let's actually make this readable for everyone, right?
Eva
So,
and Andrew with a clutch.
yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to Andrew about it, and he was like, I have an umbrella. And I was like, oh my God, thank God. I literally told him, like, I was thinking, should I drive home and bring back an umbrella?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna just be like, let's just run it. Let's forget about it. But I'm so glad you actually did fix it in.
It was crazy different. I mean, afterwards, I talked to Cameron. He was like, oh, it's a little dark. But I was like, it's fine. Like,
Oh, for them
a little
to see
dark
the
for you
cards?
is like means the stream is super good. Like, hey, we'll take that any day. Yeah. Because he said something about like the shadows. But I mean, they're next to the cards. They can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you like jerry rigged that umbrella above the stream camera.
So James,
It's,
do we buy insurance on that? Like, what if it fell on somebody?
I know, no. This was a complex rig because we did not want to accidentally kill anyone at the
Yep.
NorCal Regional.
Yeah.
It's literally like it's so convoluted. Like, so I had the umbrella in a grip knuckle,
Yeah.
and the grip knuckle kind of laid on the bars of the glide cam rig. But then because it could easily tip over, we had metal clamps along the rig so that it had like something to lean against.
Yeah.
And then we duct taped
whole
everything so that nothing could move.
Okay.
It was
What
a
what
lot.
tape do you? That tape is insane. It's not even duct tape,
It-
guys.
no,
it's,
it's
not,
not, it's
like I
not.
tried. I was like being helpful, disassembling this thing.
Thank you.
Dude, I'm a strong guy. That thing is like ridiculous. I feel like we can tape a boat together. Is that like like anti-water tape?
It's gaff tape. It's what we use for like video production, films.
It worked
It
out
worked.
really well. I don't really care. I mean, look, it worked out really well.
We killed no one. We killed exactly
We did.
0 people at the NorCal Regional.
Good. Okay, let's keep it that way, guys. Yeah. So, what are some of your favorite moments from the event? When it started?
Like I still remember very clearly. So full context is the final round, the person on stream, it was Ver versus Roomba.
Yeah.
Cameron is his actual name, but we knew him as Roomba from the Discord. And the reason I knew of him in Discord is because I remember this person just started playing. And I was like, did this person like literally just pick up this game like a month ago or something like that? And now he's like second place at a regional.
He was officially 3rd.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, he was
Yeah.
playing against first place, so I was like, what the heck? How did he get so far? And he was playing water deck also.
Yep.
So it was like a water brand new player doing like really well at a major event.
Yeah.
And
So proud.
yeah, very proud. And then I remember you and Cherry specifically being like, why is he not fracturizing the nullifying lantern? Does he not know about it? You kept
We
saying,
doubted Cameron
you
on
kept
this
saying
pack,
the whole
dude.
time. And this is like a weird interaction in the game because of quote unquote layers.
Yeah.
That if you fracturize your nullifying lantern, it becomes a fractal, but it still keeps the ability.
Yeah.
Because fire has no way of destroying fractals, if a water player fracturizes their nullifying lantern, it makes it basically unkillable for the fire player. So I remember you guys kept being like, why is he not doing it? And then like in the 3rd game, when it like really mattered, he does it for the first time in the entire tournament.
Yeah.
And then you guys are like, oh my God, he's doing it! And I was running OBS in my chair and I like jumped up and I'm like, oh!
Dude, I was watching the stream and I saw them just like like looked up
Yeah,
at
they
you.
looked at me because they thought that I was like gonna say something.
freaking out.
They
Like, hey,
did something
you did
wrong.
something wrong. Yeah.
But I was freaking out because I was like, I thought he didn't know about it, but he clearly knew about it.
I seeded the wrong thing because I was like whispering to the microphone, like, does he not know about Lantern?
Because he's a new player, right? We're like, oh, he probably doesn't know about it.
I was like, this is really weird, interaction. I mean, I know he's playing water, but maybe he doesn't know. Like, maybe. Nah, he knew. And the guy plays really well. Like, and this is the thing, like, there's a difference in when you play a player versus seeing their hand and seeing their decisions. This is why I love seeing people's open hand, because seeing their decisions is way more than just seeing the cards they play. Right? What do they put down and why? Yeah, he's really good. The way that he was thinking through his turns, I'm like looking at what cards he keeps in his hand at the end of every turn. Insanely like well calculated. So absolutely good player. Got burned by rending once, never again. I mean, that was key. Like, Cameron stayed, I think, as far as in the tournament as he could, because he saw what rending does against his deck, and he says no. So he didn't like the patience to not swing with a Frost Paladin. He just kept it up because he knew if there was a rending coming, he could just block it, and then it's actually a big deal. And he, like, even when he played the Mama Deer, he would still not swing with Frost. The only time he ever swung with Frost was to kill. It was insanely like the patience, and like, what do we always say about water players? Gotta have patience.
True control player.
Yeah, it was really cool to watch. It was like just watching somebody who's really good at card games play.
Yeah, but not taking anything away from Ver though, because ultimately Ver did clutch it out.
Yeah,
like the winner.
Against the Frostrid's Lantern.
Yes,
you know how he did it.
He still won.
Like Ver knows his deck so well. So like the moment the Frostrid's Lantern came out, Ver said, "Oh, cool, changing the whole game. Allies only now."
Yeah.
Rhapsody, gone. Every card that he doesn't need, gone. Like 0, it's all Arthur's and like Flame Room, doesn't matter. Allies only, still got it. I was like, wow, this
the
guy's
decision making is just
really good. Yeah. Chucking like everything away. It doesn't care anymore. The whole game changes. Yeah.
Well deserved win.
Absolutely.
He's a double
all Cal regional
winner.
Yeah. He's got the all Cal. We got to design a.
He's not even from California.
It's. Guys, come on. We're
getting wrecked here.
My California Grand Archive players, please stop. We need to defend our NorCal Regional Championship mats.
Okay, for context, Ver won the SoCal Regionals for the Dawn of Ashes season against this guy. Put him second.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm the first one to leak. Okay, I could not hold.
You were our last line of defense.
I tried.
You were the chosen one.
You're supposed to be the chosen one.
You know who would have been better against Ver at the final table? Peter. But Peter did play Ver, and I think, Peter lost against Ver, which is why I had to play Ver at the final. Yeah. But if Peter defeated Ver, it was me against Peter. So we definitely guarantee a Bay Area champion.
Wow.
No pressure.
No offense,
no pressure, Peter.
We love you, Ver. Congrats on winning SoCal and NorCal Regionals.
Love you. So, any other thoughts about NorCal Regionals?
Oh, we haven't even talked about the meta yet.
Oh,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe let's start with like who the top winners were, since we just kind of mentioned a few of them.
Yeah.
Like Ver, we just said is the champion of champion of California now.
That's right.
And Ver Dylan was running Fire Lorraine.
Yep.
Aggro Fire Lorraine. And then second place was officially Kevin or Mucus, who was running Fire Rye. And I kind of wish we saw that on stream, but
we didn't have any Kevin games. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
No.
Yeah.
We had Wei on Fire Rye.
We had Wei on
though.
the Fire Rye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin's really good too.
Yeah.
And then third was Cameron Roomba with the Water Merlin with the fracturized nullifying lantern tech. And then fourth was Tej.
Hopefully we're pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah, Tej. I'm not entirely sure, but I think they go by Ferenthian on Discord.
Okay.
Got fourth with Fire Merlin. So a lot of fire this tournament.
Yeah.
So much fire this tournament.
Hey, but there's water and no wind.
Dude, no, like the element breakdown for the regional was crazy. It was literally like 5 water players and then like 8 wind players, and the rest were all fire. Like, what is this?
Fire is easy tech. Look, I'll just come out and say it for all my fire players. We do it because it's easy street. Fire is consistency.
Whoa.
Fire is so consistent. That's why. Because you want to have the same gameplay every game. You go fire. It's easy.
Smooth brain plays.
Hey,
We
Hey.
can't all be big brain water players. No, I'm kidding.
you win by, inch or a mile. Winning is winning.
No,
Vin
I'm
Diesel.
joking. I'm very brain dead with my plays too. I'm just like, yeah, attack.
But that's why I think even more Cameron, both the fact that he's playing water, but also the bravery to play a deck that can draw more than other decks, which is drawing is not good. This is actually why he was, I guess technically
Oh,
Cameron
you mean drawing as in tying,
tying, yeah, sorry, tying,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
not drawing cards.
Not drawing cards, no. He
Yeah, I
just
was like,
draw-
what do you mean water drawing more?
No, tying, yeah, it's because it's risky, right? If you tie too much at a tournament, the general say is you can tie once and you're okay, but tying twice or three is devastating. Twice is almost really bad because tying twice is as bad as losing twice. Yeah, so it gets really tricky playing decks that tie a lot more. So I'm lots of props for any water player out there, honestly. Yeah, playing a late game water player too. So,
Props.
yeah. So meta overall, what do you think?
No, I'm surprised that it hasn't changed more since the bannings and Proxy's Vault. Like, I thought that like the Avarice ban would like really nerf Lorraine, but Lorraine is still extremely popular. Yeah, Merlin too.
Well, I feel like aggro Lorraine became more popular.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I would say the meta has now bifurcated more into very low to the ground aggro
Yeah.
or very kind of control-y value and not a lot of mid-range. So like the mid-range decks I would say are like Sylvie, play big things that attack, but they don't seem to be doing as well.
Do you think it's lack of like just not being brave enough to present one of those decks at regionals, or you think it's actually not competitive enough?
I think it's both.
Okay.
I think this is something that I want to talk about, but there's so many high stakes events happening all the time that people don't have time to go back to the lab
Yeah.
and put something new together because they need to go back to win more things
Right.
to win that invite or win that big fancy promo playmat again. So yeah, if people did really spend the time to deeply brew, maybe there would be something that would consistently perform well. But
Interesting point.
Yeah, so we're not really seeing that yet. It seems like.
I haven't. Yeah, I was surprised I didn't see the Exodia squirrels. Like
Right,
just as a
right.
very simple meta, like from True Champion when they saw the stream, I think they were like, oh, this has so much potential. I'm really excited about brewing this more. Right, and that was like about like a month ago. I would have expected more of that deck to
I
show
thought so
up.
too. Yeah,
But
this
zero.
is basically the
Zero Sylvie.
Zero
Any
Sylvies.
color. Norm
Yeah.
Sylvie. Nothing. Yeah.
Only 2 Allens, 0 Sylvies.
Yeah.
Kind of sad, but like, sorry. Overall, I felt like the champion breakdown wasn't as unbalanced.
Yeah, no, it was cool.
relatively, because like we had 16 Lorraine,
Yep.
11 Merlin, 9 Rye. Like it wasn't that big of a disparity compared to other tournaments.
Yeah.
It was not bad.
But we're also, we need to talk about the colors. It's not just that it's like 16 Lorraines, like 16 Lorraines spread across like level 2s, level 1s, the Ally Rush one, some late game, right? Water, like it's, there's a lot of variety to it too, right? So like Eustace, for example, is running his Water Ally Rush deck, Lorraine, right? So cool. So I think this is a pretty good segue into our next topic here, the health of Grand Archive right now. So we're on the kind of like cusp of set 3 dropping soon. I'm actually kind of curious because everywhere I see, we have another round of growing the new player base, or growing the player base through new player experiences. So kind of curious, right? We ran a VPC Learn to Play a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that and what that
Victory
experience
Point
was
Cafe.
like?
Yeah, so we always talk about the on-ramp for a new player, and right now it's kind of tough to get right into the game because everybody's already playing such advanced decks.
Yeah.
So we figured, at our local game store, Victory Point, we really wanted to help onboard a lot of the local players that maybe didn't get in the first round of welcome events.
Yeah.
So we spend a lot of time kind of planning out a learn to play event using the demo decks
Yeah.
that Weebs provide, and we spent a lot of time both promoting the event and then also came up with I think a very effective format for how to run it. But yeah, promoting it, we were like physically like putting up
flyers
like all around university.
Yeah.
And then
should we take those down? Do we need to take those down?
they don't get taken.
Okay.
They just get plastered over. Someone else
True.
did.
Yeah. And so yeah, we were able to grab a little bit of the university crowd, and we did social media advertising and a lot of that, and the turnout was actually fantastic.
Crazy. Yeah. It's
So-
like 30 some people.
Yeah, so there were over 30 people, 24 brand new players,
Yep.
and 10 seasoned veterans.
Yeah.
And the format that we came up with was a staged demo game that you and Christian very kindly demoed for everybody, in which we basically set the cards on the top of the deck. Don't do this in an actual tournament; that's illegal. But we stacked the cards. Christian came up with a sequence of plays to do this, and we wanted to showcase within the first 6 turns every mechanic in the game.
Yep.
So it ended up being really efficient, and I was narrating the plays as you guys were making it. The players were all in a circle watching us. They were able to interject questions as you were making each play.
Yep.
You guys were playing with open hands so everybody can see what was going on. And then right after that, we let people play some practice games, and then we did a casual best of 1 Swiss tournament. It seemed like they had a really good time.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I would agree. I mean, I saw a lot of players having a lot of fun, asking really good questions.
Yeah.
It's like I often tell people this now as like a parent now. It's like things are interesting because I see my kid experiencing again. Watching these players play Grand Archive was like a little bit of that. Like it was like, oh yeah, like they're learning about on attack. Oh, and like here's what rending or I think it was Rending Flame was in the deck was gonna do, right? The whole on banish, on attack. It was really cool just seeing a lot of the interactions, deliberately not showing like the higher tier text and like having them figure it out as they play was just super magical. It was really fun to like see it happen. And somebody like a lot of players were like, oh, and we're like, yeah he got it.
And they're like, oh, I could play this mid combat and then like untap and attack again.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
And just also, I was really struck by how supportive the community was. Like all the veteran players helping out each other. Yeah, overall, it was a really fun event. I hope it's more new players will get into the game. I know it seems a little bit daunting at first.
Yeah.
But it's such a rewarding game. So
we should even like maybe consider just always having a thing where it says, hey, if you're new to the game, show up any weekend and we'll teach you, right? So, like I don't know how we do that, but like one of the things I'm thinking about is and trying to organize now is our starter deck tournament coming up for ALC. I think that would be another good ramp for new players where, hey, we're all competing on the same grounds. Actually, most of the cards are new for even the veteran players too, so they're going to learn it as the new players are, and everyone already has a deck. You don't need to build anything. You buy a deck, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Right? So
that'd be great.
Yeah. With ALC literally like about to drop soon, right? Do you think the game, what do you think about overall complexity of the game right now? How do you feel about the game right now? Yeah. Is it too complex, too quick?
Yes.
Yes?
I don't know. What do you think?
Are we talking about right now with FTC or later with ALC?
I think, yeah, like more around maybe ALC. Or if you have thoughts on FTC, sure. Share them too, yeah.
I don't think I had a lot of issues picking up FTC, but as someone who isn't as experienced with card games, I'm still learning about like stack interaction, how the stack resolves. Like that stuff takes a while to.
Yeah, but you play pretty well, even like being new to the stack and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Thanks. No, I still have so much to learn. But ALC though is kind of a beast. So the other day I was mentally kind of trying to list all the new keywords that we're getting in ALC because there's a lot, right?
Yeah.
And I was going through it and I was like, this kind of sounds like a Pokemon rap. It doesn't end. It's just like
keeps going.
Foster, gather, renewable, distant, range, steadfast. It's like you can just keep going. It just keeps coming. Like we could make an educational rap for GA.
Yeah, I
Like
totally see what you mean.
Got it.
A little alphabet soup of brand new
Yeah.
terminology for the game.
Yeah, and we haven't even seen all the cards yet, and there's already a lot of mechanics. Yeah, what is standard for like other card games? Do you know, for like new sets?
Well,
new
isn't
mechanics?
it they like add like 3 or 4 new mechanics per set? Well, that's like the Magic formula.
Yeah, I think it's about 3 or 4 as well. Yeah.
That's still a lot considering Magic puts out a new set like every 3 months, you said?
Well, basically every new
But you don't have to consider it for other, like, you just think about it only in that set, because most of the people who are drafting or playing limited, they only think about like the keywords of that one set.
Okay.
I guess plus like all the what they call evergreen, which is like what's the equivalent? Like on attack would be an evergreen keyword. It's not even a keyword. But yeah, something like that would be Magic's equivalent.
basically all the new Magic mechanics are just repackaged versions of old ones at this point.
Okay.
So it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's not too hard to learn it. One of my concerns about Grand Archive or any card game actually in total is just how easy it is for players to grok what's happening. You probably have this similar issue too. Maybe not as much as a water player because you know your cards already. But I always joke like if it's a water Sylvie, I have to read every card, right? And I don't want new players to feel that way with every deck they play against because they don't have the keyword in their deck, right? So the idea is like if you have all the keywords here, then you know what they do. But the problem is if I don't know what your cards do, now I have to read everything, internalize it, understand it, right? And with the way that Grand Archive is running really fast. Now, the positive side of this is, Grand Archive is also trying to design not just for new players. We have 30 plus years of trading card game history now, right? So every card game is looking at other card games and building similar different mechanics or their rendition of it. It's putting it together. So on that side of it, they don't want to disappoint any veteran players. This game's too simple. I don't want to play this children's card game, right? I'll wait 10 years before it gets complicated. On the other side though, like Grand Archive actually has a lot of new players that have never played any trading card game. So for those players, it is like, this is the first trading card game.
Yeah.
And now they're walking into like this giant, like you said, alphabet soup of like mechanics, interactions, stack, things that like, it's really hard to grok.
Layers.
Yeah, I don't even look on.
Yeah, even Magic players don't understand
What is
layers.
that? I mean, we understand it when we like kind of put it together.
Yeah.
But like the way that it works, you're like, I guess it doesn't work that way. And it's like really confusing, right? So that's where I'm also a little bit concerned. But maybe we just have to like power through about like 4 or 5 sets. And then like once you have everything and everyone's kind of like stabilized on the core, let's say like 50 mechanics, then it becomes hey, there's 4 new mechanics every set, and you just have to learn those 4.
I see.
That's a good point because there's only 7 classes in the game so far, right?
Yeah.
So, and we're now getting the remaining 3 classes that aren't in the game yet. So maybe it's after ALC comes out, the game will stabilize with the amount of mechanics that they churn out.
Did they say there's only going to be 7? Sorry, did Weeb say there's 7 and that's it? We're locking it, at least for now?
I've not heard that, but it would make sense because I can't imagine them adding more classes every set.
Yeah, and also like as far as we know so far, right? There's only like 4 elements technically, right? That's it. Those we're not gonna get like a
4 advanced elements.
Basic element.
Including Norm?
Oh, you
Yeah, so four right now, including Norm, but we're not gonna get a 5th one like in the future. Like
I think they basically said they're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Really? I thought they said they were open to it.
I think any card game is always open to it, but
But not in the near future, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And honestly, like even looking at other card games, like Magic has not added any new elements for 30 years. They basically have still what they had 30 years ago.
Wow.
So it's really, and they don't even have advanced elements. It's just those like 6 basically, yeah. If you count the Norm.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you guys are saying that they need to kind of like accelerate really early on to fill out what the game needs to be at a minimal level to compete with other modern games.
Yep.
And so maybe after that point, it'll slow down.
Yeah.
But right now, it feels like the complexity is jumping
Yep.
like really rapidly.
Yeah.
So if you're a brand new player who just got into the game, like with ALC, it just seems like there's so much new to learn.
Yeah.
Like, what's with these brewing things? Like, there's now that
brewing.
it's very cool, I gotta admit. But now you have like dice rolling with like random mechanics, and then things that like can be alternatively paid with brews, or you could play the card, or
That's not even the most confusing mechanic.
it's not, and it's just one of them though, right?
Yeah, I mean now you're making potions, but here's another thing about Arisana that I think a lot of people maybe like. I'm thinking about it now. I think she's definitely the champion that a lot of newer players will gravitate towards because she's cute looking, right? But think about the champion that new players gravitating towards. This is like the new Sylvie basically, but she's like really hard to pilot. I think. I mean, even the fire version,
so they may
I'm
have
a little bit
time.
right. So it's gonna be a little tricky. I mean, I'm sure, right? Like once everything settles, people are gonna get really comfortable with the seven classes and elements. But who knows, right? If we get, I think the game is complicated, but that's maybe just necessary right now. Yeah, I mean, think about us. Remember our conversation at DOA? I said, when are we gonna get a counterspell? And then we got one in FTC. Like us as veteran players of another card game are expecting certain mechanics already. And if we don't see it, we're like, oh, there's no mill win con yet. Oh, there's no and we're like expecting all these things that, players like you are like, what the heck is that? You don't even care. But like for us, we're like, oh, we don't have this meta because this one type of victory condition doesn't exist in this game yet. So it's I get it. They have to cater to both crowds, and it's really hard.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears a little bit onto the other side of this, which is organized play, right? So how do you feel about organized play, current health of that?
This year's a lot of it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
We're so busy.
We had right.
So busy.
There's regional was 2 weeks ago. We're about to go through the round of all the store championships.
Yeah, I was gonna bring this up earlier when you said that there were 6 store champs in Northern California, not even all of California, just the northern part of it. We have store champs nearly every weekend, starting last week until January 7th.
Yeah.
It's so much.
And we spread it out so that everyone can now attend, each one in succession. So everyone has a chance to go. But there's also a lot of events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you feeling the burnout yet?
I quit, so I don't really care anymore.
Okay. You didn't quit the game, you quit competitive play.
Correct, yeah.
And I have heard it expressed that some people are getting a little bit worn out.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a lot of traveling. And then, usually people prepare like a month just to go to a big a premium event.
Yeah.
But now imagine you're going to 4 premium events that month. It feels like a lot.
How does it compare to Magic though? Do they not have as much organized play?
So there are store championships, but the game is also like 100 times bigger.
Yeah.
It's about, I would say, slightly less frequent, similar frequency, maybe slightly less.
Yeah.
But the audience is so much bigger.
Yeah.
So I would say that Grand Archive is trying to implement on year 1 the organized play system of a much larger game than they may or may not be able to fully fill out. But I really congratulate their ambition, and for the most part the execution too. Like these events are really awesome.
Yeah.
Like Ascent, oh my God, it was such a fun event.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt that the upcoming Ascents are going to be just as fun. The regionals have been great. Store Champions has been really, really fun. But burnout is also a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm afraid of dilution. Like the more events there are, the more like you're just going through the grind. And this is the thing talking to a lot of the more competitive players who do this almost like as a job kind of thing. They think about things very differently. They're not going to Ascent just to be there and trade in tickets, right? They're there looking and say, like, what's my travel cost? What's my hotel cost? If I win, what's my take? I imagine people who go to casinos and they're professional players. It feels that way, right? So they look at if this is a 2-day event, my hotel is going to be this much, my parking is going to be this much. Is the pricing worth it, right? And so that's why a lot of regionals don't do 2-day events anymore, because for a lot of players, they don't really want to show up to a 2-day event and lose, right? Let's imagine you're flying out from a different country, especially, right? Now it's you just flew in for a regional. This is not Ascent. This is not Ascent World. This is not a super big event with tons of side events to do. It gets really tricky. The math doesn't work out. So That is something a lot of professional players think about. But I just think like, we got to keep it like, is it exciting? Are you still having fun going to these things? Or are you just more like, I'm going because the pricing is really good? Which, hey, don't get me wrong, Grand Archive has, so far what I heard, the best pricing. Grand Archive promos and the the victory cards, whatever, are worth the most out of all card games.
Oh,
period.
wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh's pricing is terrible. Like if you talk to any Yu-Gi-Oh players, and it's like they go to these like 200 people events, and then you play, and then unless you're like number one, you get like a playmat for top cut.
Oh, wow.
Like imagine top 32 at a 200 people event, and you just get a playmat, and we give playmats to every participant.
Yeah, they're very generous.
It's crazy difference.
Yeah, so I definitely don't want to come off like I'm poo-pooing the play system at all. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like so awesome that it's almost too much.
Yeah.
Like too much of a good thing.
Yeah. I think that's so you earlier you were asking about like frequency of other card games like Magic. The reason why Magic has that many frequency of events is because getting those top 16, it's not so easy because there's way bigger pool. And we're playing a card game, there's random factors. You could just brick, draw really poorly, and then guess what? Your best deck, your most likely win, you're not gonna win this time. So Magic having more events is okay because they have a lot of players competing for those spots, right? And they want to like go to Worlds with like, let's say, I don't know, 256 players or something like that, like a really big tournament. Grand Archive being a much smaller game, yeah, you go to regionals now because there's like 50 people. Your chance of winning like in a top 4 or top 8 is like pretty high.
But I think it's very commendable that at least in Grand Archive, you know exactly how you get to the top.
Yeah.
The path is super clear. As Magic has a notoriously convoluted path to get to, the World Championships or what, like, because like you can get in through playing at stores and then getting to a regional, but you can also get in from doing really well at online events on Arena or MTG Online. Or there was a time where they just like, if you were a like celebrity player, you automatically get into like this special roster of players that has an advantage in being able to get to these events, and your like flights are automatically paid for and all that stuff. So like people are not on an equal playing field.
Yeah.
So I think Grand Archive, it's like you have a dream, you know how to achieve it. That's really awesome. I think more games should have that.
Yeah.
But overall, I think everything's still fun and special
it's
right
great.
now.
Yeah.
Right? Like especially Ascent, Houston. Like we can't stop saying glowing things about that event.
Yeah, I'm hyped for Ontario.
Nice.
No path
Let's
is
go.
still silver though.
I know. Oh, and that's another thing is that like they keep things fresh with things like Path of Silver, with like having the artists.
3v3 team.
3v3
Yeah.
format.
Yeah, the devs are really creative.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the next phase, I mean, that's not technically organized play, right? Like the 3v3? Is it?
That's Path of Steel for Ascent Worlds.
Oh, so it's like organized play.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's literally.
Whoa. Hey, that's
Hey.
cool. You guys need a team?
You want to win Sabrina? Do you want to win Sabrina, Spirit of Water for me?
Wait, no, not for you, but like we can win it as a team.
Do you want to win Sabrina,
Eva?
Spirit of Water for me?
It's a live offer on whether we have a TalkGA team.
Are you not going to nationals? You're not going to Worlds?
We're going to Worlds.
Okay, but that's a conflict of interest because you're also commentating.
No, I'm not. I have to be selected first. I did submit I have to be selected. Maybe I don't get selected. Who knows? But yeah, it'd be fun if I can commentate for it though. It'd be pretty sick. Yeah. Hopefully they can like allow like unfiltered me, so I just shout at people's like plays.
Shoutcasting.
Shoutcasting. Yeah. There you go.
Wishing you the best of luck on that app.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm for me personally, it's like, look, obviously pick the best people, but I'm just really excited to do it because I realize like it's really fun. I mean, towards the end of the night, sorry to go back like 14 topics, but like Sherry was like, "Are you tired?" I'm like, "No." Are you tired? She's like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, that means we had a good time." Because like I was like, "Oh, this is so great." Like I can keep talking. I'm not like, "Oh, I want to go home. I'm done talking. Don't talk to me." Like no, nothing like that. I went around asking people questions. Like, how do you think about this? I'm still interested. So yeah, I love it. Like I love seeing other people's tech. The one thing I hate about playing at events like this is just I basically am just looking at my deck like for 12 hours plus another like 6 hours on day 2 or something, right? I'd rather see other people's tag and see different variations, different play. So it's best of both worlds kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, seriously though, TalkGA 3v3 team, please.
I'm really sad. I can't go to Worlds. I have a business trip that week. So
There is a thing called PTO.
no, like,
Not for this.
Okay, all right.
but top 3 teams get Sabrina, Spirit of Water. Have you seen this card? She's
I don't know what
beautiful.
this is. I don't know
She's
what this is.
gorgeous.
Okay, all right. I'll look at
Please
it.
bring
I'll
her
look at it.
home.
Sabrina is a nice waifu for sure.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Next episode, waifu tier list.
Yeah, which spirit of waifu tier list?
I haven't seen the. We saw the Gwyn one flashed.
Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn, yeah. See, you guys don't.
That's
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, okay, so it's a win. Cool. Draw 7. I'm already right. That's all I care about. Yeah. So I think that's it. You guys wrapping up. Anything else about organized plays you want to share?
I'm still in it.
You're still in it.
Still fun.
Nice. Okay.
It's just busy.
Cool. I want to see you guys. I mean, yeah, same thing, right? You guys are running events, so it's harder for you to play too. So kind of sucks.
But this time,
time.
we'll try to get some reps.
Yeah. Ascent. Yeah. Right. You didn't even play Ascent Houston.
This guy was
Fome,
cosplaying.
what are you?
We were like shooting video
That's right.
and taking photos.
That's right. Okay, well, I want to see your deck at Ascent Ontario. Who's casting that?
Fogxander?
Wait, can I just sit down and start casting at Ontario? Maybe I can just
Sure, why not?
Like, hey, last minute, hey guys, what's
You're just
going
gonna
on?
walk over to my table physically and be
Just like start talking.
it's like
All right, turn 2. Players are looking in their hands.
Is he gonna play that Frostbind?
Yeah, cool. All right, the last thing is just viewer question. Unfortunately, we didn't have any this week or this month or whatever. But if you have a question for TalkGA, you can reach us if you're watching on the YouTube, just go ahead and comment in the comment section below, #TalkGA, and then your question. That's the easiest way for me to go find them. If you're listening on a podcast catcher of your choice, you can, of course, contact us by sending an email to solargamesllc@gmail.com with the subject line TalkGA. And then that way I know it's about this podcast and just your questions. We will answer anything that's reasonable on this podcast. Cool. Otherwise, I think we can sign off. So thank you guys all for listening to episode 3, and we'll see you next time.
Stay
classy.
classy.
Yeah.